The key to succeed, to be accepted, believe it or not, is the motivation letter. Above anything else. More than the research proposal, more than your CV, it's the letter of motivation.
We want to ask you about the application of PhD, because before we talk about master, it's not specific about master, but it's about master. So because of Vivian now is PhD student, so we want to ask you, maybe from Vivian, is the difference between how you apply to master scholarship, master degree, and what is different when you apply to PhD.
Yeah, it's quite different, from master to PhD. From master, we have two phase in selection. Those are documentation and interview. And we also have a deep vlog about interview in master, right?
Oh yeah.
But for PhD, because I just continue my PhD here, so the interviewer didn't ask me about my personality, my goals.
Because they know.
Yeah, they know me very well. But they emphasize on the research, my research proposal. So I can say that the interview session is just like proposal. This is proposal defense.
This is proposal defense. Second part.
Like research question. What's your research novelty? Maybe better.
Okay, so because of she is continuing from master to PhD from IIIU, the same institution, maybe the question is slightly to the thesis things or paper, research paper. Maybe there is some of different with you because you are new here. Can you tell about what kind of question that interviewer asked you about?
Yeah.
Do you still remember? If not, please remember it.
Yes. Yeah, I remember. I do remember.
Okay.
As I know, I think that the questions will depend on the study level and the person, after all, because some other classmates, friends, say that their questions were somehow different from mine. And so in this case, the key questions that made me more thoughtful is like, if you can survive in another country, like if you are adaptable to other country, because initially it can be like a big adventure to study abroad, but you will find, of course, several challenges. More than culture shock, is more like challenges, perhaps with the food, with the weather, with anything. And even if it's not related with studies, of course, it's important for our how to say, for our well-being. So that's why I think that I had to be like realistic to say that after all it can be challenging. I never said, oh, it's easy, because it wasn't, because when I was the master program, it was during the pandemic, so it became challenging, the lockdown. If you're a foreigner, you are prone to be alone in your room. So it's a challenge, but after all, you can overcome the challenge, and it's worth the value. So that's one of the most important questions, because nowadays I can realize that there can be other challenges. So, but it's part of the process. And also because I can have to admit that when I'm in the dormitory, many foreign friends don't like Indonesian food. So they are very sensitive to Indonesian food. They just cook their own foods. In my case, because I have lived before, so I'm more accustomed to eat Indonesian food, because I like spicy food, because Mexican food is spicy. But sometimes it can be challenging, rice, chicken, and you have to look for new alternatives. And it's part of the challenge, because it takes you time to look for food, to cook by yourself while you are a student. So the main question that was more intriguing is something related with
academic.
Not really with academic stuff, but with everyday issues. But of course, there are academic questions that I think that are important, like what do you expect to do after graduating?
What do you answer?
And I say you have to be honest, in the sense that if you want to be so or so, you have to be direct. You don't need to hesitate to say I want to be a lecturer, I want to be a researcher, maybe
Just be honest.
be honest in the sense to say what you truly want to be, even though you find it so far away. Time goes very fast, so after you have to be direct with those answers.
Okay.
And what else? I think that
About
they ask you about what your occupation is, what you are studying, if you are studying now, if you are working, if you are do extra activities. I think that is important as well, because I think that they were more focused after all. They began to do more questions about my job occupation. Like, for example, I say I'm an English teacher, but they began to make more questions. What level? How are my teaching methods? How do I deal with this situation, with that situation? How do I deal with bullying or with what are the main challenges? They make more questions in depth regarding the job issues. So I think that it's important to consider all of that, not only about the application, but also about the job issues, about your extracurricular activities, your personal matters. Also, I think that, what else? Like when you get, the first question they make me is if you are single or married.
Oh.
So yeah, I think that
They don't ask that question to you, right?
They already know.
Okay,
so yeah, I think
because it's matter, single and married.
yeah, it's I think it's a big matter here.
Yeah, big matter, right?
So that's why it was the initial question: Are you single or married? And then it come the other questions about academic, the proposal.
Oh yeah.
They said that my proposal was good, but still have to, of course, to change it to make it more feasible, because to be more concrete.
Yeah, it's not realistic. Yeah,
To be more in accordance with the time.
Yeah.
So this is something.
Has finished 4 years.
Yes, this is very common to many applicants. You can have a good application. Don't don't get stressed because if it's good or not. You have to show your potential more than reach a result in your research, because you are just applying for the program. So of course you have to show your potential, that you have ideas, that you have read certain sources, that you know how to write structurally with coherence and clarity, more than getting a result, because it's application. That's important.
Is there any questions? Another question that you remember? No. Okay.
Other question?
It's just like simple.
What else?
They ask you from your CV,
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
question from your CV.
Maybe you write something or activity in your CV. They ask you something
They
from your
confirm.
CV.
Oh.
Like they confirming from your
Yeah.
CV. Yeah.
Yeah, they explore question from the CV, so make sure that you know what you write in your CV.
Yeah. Or from motivation letter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is there any question that they take from motivation letter or from CV?
first of all, maybe of course they won't say that because that's the key. But I will give you. I think that this is the most important advice if you want to be accepted.
Okay.
The key to succeed, to be accepted, believe it or not, is the motivation letter above anything else. More than the research proposal, more than your CV, it's the letter of motivation. Because when I applied for KMB for the second time, of course the CV was technically the same one.
Okay.
And my research proposal was the same way, technically the same thing. I just have to change some few words.
Okay.
But the key difference was the letter of motivation. When I read my letter of motivation to apply for KMB, it lacked like passion or coherence. It lacked, it was very jumbled, no clear ideas, because as I told you, I was not confident with what I will do if I got like a doctor in philosophy, even though I like philosophy, but my background is in education. So you don't reach anything. So that's why my letter of motivation was not clear, and obviously I was rejected because of my letter of motivation. But for applying here at IIIU, my letter of motivation was very clear from the very first, from the beginning to the end. I could compare both documents and I say, yeah, it's very different, the quality. And I had to look for information in the internet, how to do a good letter of motivation. You have to be specific about yourself, but of course about your educational background, your assets, and a little bit about your research proposal. What do you expect, not only for you, but also for the society. Don't forget that. It's important to consider also what is the benefit for society. And of course, for your program, for the community. If it's for education, what is the benefit for educational science? If it's for economics, for the economic science. So don't forget that, because that's a key. You have to consider also others, the benefit of other people as well, not only for yourself. And yeah, that's very important. And of course, to be clear, without shyness, or with all the confidence, that what do you expect with doing that in the future. So the key is the letter of motivation. Of course, the CV must be clear, must be in accordance to their requirements, the same way like the letter or the research proposal, but the key is the letter of motivation.
Oh,
yes.
How about you? But your motivation letter?
Motivation letter, I have a form for my motivation letter. So the form is like past, present, and future. So in my section of my motivation letter is, of course, introduction. And then I introduce myself, my name, where I'm coming from, and then I'm telling about myself in past. I graduated from what university, and I was active in what organization or in any social services or job, and I also, and then from past to present, I explain what I'm now
doing now.
I just graduated from what university, from at the time from from this university actually, for my motivation letter PhD. And also doing the research funding with my professor. That's for my present state. And then future is like what Beto mentioned. What will we give? What is our benefit after graduate from this university? The form.
So if I can conclude from your statement, from both of you, everything is important, right? CV or letter of recommendations, but Beto is says main things that you can have to consider very seriously, that to write a motivation, good or perfect motivation letter.
Perfect, yes.
So it must be specifically about you, yourself, academic matter, educational matters, and the contribution maybe to the society. So before we talk about interview, but we forget to talk about the first step of application is document. Document, right? I want to ask a question to Uiii'S. Is there any difference the document to master and to PhD, or is all the same?
The different thing is only in research proposal.
In PhD, so everything is same. So if you want to know the requirement of administration's thing, you can refer to the previous video, my video. There is talk about documents and interview, because all the same except the research proposal. So if I can conclude as well from interview questions, I think from master and PhD is all the same. It's talk about ourselves. The things that make different is the question about our proposal, right? Because all that's the same, like how did you know about this university, and what do you want to be in maybe in 10 years, or maybe for international student there is any specific question about how you adapt with the culture, with the food, with the environment, because it's very different.
Yes,
right?
of course different. So of course when you apply, you have to follow the guidelines. Of course, it's as they say, You cannot omit any document.
So you have to read the
Yeah,
guideline
you have
book.
read carefully everything. After all, read the information about the faculty you are going to
Yeah,
apply,
it's important.
because that's a big asset, because it means that you are truly interested to study here. Because if you don't have any single idea of the faculty, how can you feel motivated? How can they will trust that you want to study here in reality? In this case, what I found is the concentration areas that are particular from this university, like the biggest one, education society, educational policy, evaluation, and curriculum.
Okay, maybe the last questions. I hope you are enjoying joining our video, right? So maybe the last question is there any specific tips and tricks?
What do you
Except the motivation letter, is there any things that you want to tell us about?
Yeah, it's important. So to sum up, like the application for the PhD as a foreign student. So don't forget, again, read carefully, because it's important. Because if you ask to the university something that is clear, they might not reply. So of course you have to read before the application process, as well as about information about the faculty. Those two sources. Secondly, of course, you have to submit all the documents. You cannot omit any document after all, because they will require it. They will send a mail, if not mistaken, that you have to submit it. Third, don't worry about the English qualification. I mean, they say, at least as I know, they said you have need 550 about TOEFL or IELTS, but if you have another certificate, official certificate like from Cambridge or Duolingo or whatever, but it's a certificate, official certificate that has equivalent of 550 points, you can be accepted. It's not a hindrance to be rejected. So I say this in order that you can apply, that you feel more confident. And also the CV, they say, yeah, you have to do this in this format. You have to do it as they say, not as you already have it. You have to follow those instructions. The motivation letter, again, is just look in the internet how to do a motivation letter, because they won't say, of course. Believe me, that's a difference. And the proposal, don't worry about the results you expect. You have to prove more your potential than your mastery in the subject, because that's what you are going to study in order to become a master, proficient in that subject. You only have to show your potential. So that's why they are looking for in the proposal. That's why it's a proposal. And what else? I think that it's enough. I think that do it on time, and maybe they can extend the time after all, but don't get confident. You do it as early as possible, because I think this year will be more applicants than last year.
Halo, jadi I'm sorry, Indonesian. Okay, so we just finished our conversation about how to apply to IIi'S scholarship, because now open the admission. So we have give you tip and trick. Maybe if you want to ask a more question, you can write in the comments, comment below. And don't forget to subscribe, because like Beto is now this university one of
Here because of her
channel because of me. So in order to do a lot of video, please subscribe my video. And there's anything you want to say, guys?
We are waiting you here.
Good luck.
Oh, good luck. Good luck all. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.